Welcome to Kick Him in the Head, a podcast that takes an inside look at the world of mixed martial arts, featuring interviews from some of the top fighters from South Africa and around the world, with a focus on the EFC and UFC promotions. I'm your host, Yao. Join us as we delve deep into the techniques, strategies, and mindsets of these world-class athletes, learning from their experiences and getting insights into what it takes to succeed in the toughest sport on earth. Welcome to another episode of the Kick Him in the Head podcast. And as always, I have an absolutely jam-packed MMA episode for you. Today, I'm speaking to Godfrey Mkhwanazi. At EFC 118, two rising stars are set to collide in a high-octane showdown. Godfrey Feral Spunky Mkhwanazi, fighting out of Boksburg's Godfather MMA, brings his sharp boxing and gritty spirit into the Bantamweight division, riding high in his last victory. With a record of 1-1 and a relentless drive, Mkhwanazi is looking to make a statement. But standing in his way is the undefeated prospect from Team CIT, the Zulu warrior, Ntando Zondi. He's representing UMF Johannesburg and is boasting a perfect record of 2-0, professional record, currently on a 4-fight win streak. Zondi has set his sights on continuing his dominance and hopefully challenging for the soon. This is a battle between hunger and momentum. Mkhwanazi's ferocity versus Zondi's warrior spirit. Buckle up for what will be an exciting clash as we speak to Godfrey Feral Spunky Mkhwanazi. Godfrey, welcome to the Kick Him in the Head podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely amazing. So I know we've bumped into each other a few times at the EFC, and I know that I think that the last EFC I actually heard you screaming "Kick Him in the Head," so it's very, very, very good to have you on the show.
Just like you, my brother, I love violence.
Yes. So I think let's get into it. Now, you're coming off a win earlier this year. How much has that victory impacted your mindset heading into this fight with Ntando?
It's like my coaches normally say, you learn more from your losses. So I actually learned more from when I fought Spusiso back in September than what I did in March against Charles. So we always get into a fight having that new, fresh mindset, saying, okay, guys, this is what you got on the table. Forget what happened in the past. Forget what's about to happen in the future. This fight is what we all focusing on right now. So that's how it's been every fight now. But it just keeps evolving. A few details get tweaked here and there and keeps getting better and better.
I like that you say a few details get tweaked here and there because we know that you have a boxing background and that boxing is one of your strongest assets. We know Ntando's fighting from a Muay Thai background. How do you plan to use your boxing to overcome the skills that he's going to be bringing from a Muay Thai standpoint?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, I love all styles of fighting. Boxing is just a sport I love, like on art form as a science. So that's why I resonate with it so much. But in terms of fighting Zondi now, I'll take him in. Whether he wants to stand kickboxing, whether he wants to go Muay Thai, jits on the ground, whether he wants to, stand up, I'll go with it because I'm just that prepared.
Just that prepared. I like that. Now, obviously, you mentioned your fight against Spusiso Soventle, and he's obviously gone on to now defeat the likes of Rovan de Beer, etc., and he's flying high in the bantamweight division. Now, you did mention that fighting him taught you more, and you were happier with having lost him. And I mean, that was your first fight in your career. So, I mean, it's a good person to lose to. What did you take from that fight that you think you can bring into? Sorry?
I was saying that fight when I was forced Spusiso and I lost him by 1 point. So I was on 2 weeks' notice. So
and it was on
that's
2 weeks'
another thing
notice.
I'd probably change. Yeah, that's another thing I changed in my career from that loss. I was learning that short notice fights aren't always the best. I'm the type of fighter that needs a full camp to prepare themselves mentally, physically. It's a journey, it's a process. So that's one thing I took from that fight: preparation.
Preparation. even though you're almost up for it. So with this fight, you've obviously had a full camp, and you're known for your aggressive fighting style. Very aggressive. We absolutely love it. So what should the fans expect from you at EFC 118? Are there any new techniques you're trying out that you'd like for us to be looking out for?
No, you guys must just keep your eyes glued to the show because I want to bring some magic. Magician can't
You
reveal
know,
all his tricks.
this is true. This is true. You remind me of I can't remember which fighter it was. I think it was Humphrey Mulenga before his fight against Igor Cabeza. I loved his response when Simon asked him, "So what can we expect?" His response was, "Listen, tune in and see. That's it. Just tune in, watch me fight, and you'll see exactly what's going to happen."
That's it. And if they've been following me on the socials, they know that I've been cooking up something really good. So just tune in, guys.
So you're representing Godfather MMA out of Boksburg, and you mentioned that you're a fighter that needs a camp. How is training out of Godfather MMA helping you through this camp, and what does training at Godfather MMA add to you as a fighter?
Well, I'd say that Godfather MMA isn't anything without myself and, Billy the Kid. We represent Godfather MMA as the only two fighting pros out of there. So, like, Godfather MMA is me and Billy. Me and Billy are Godfather MMA, if that makes sense. So
Yes.
it's like, it's not that we separate, but we're more like one, We move as one. So with that said, like, oh, in terms of the team at Godfather MMA, I'll be forever grateful for them because they really, through my worst to my highest highs, they then support me. So in terms of that system, man, I love it. But now in terms of like the gym itself, Godfather MMA, it's we are Godfather MMA, me and Billy.
That's phenomenal. And we obviously know Billy the Kid, who was Tazen, has an extensive career in the EFC. Um, so to see you working with someone that experienced, I think for me makes me very excited about your career because it gives you someone who's got the experience of having been there, having had the tough fights, having taken, for example, short notice fights, seeing how that goes, and helping you steer your career in a trajectory that makes sense. Let's say this fight goes your way. Let's say you win this fight. Where do you see yourself fitting into the bantamweight picture within the EFC?
When I win this fight.
Yeah.
This is actually going to be my first time dropping down to flyweight. Fadley's always said that flyweight is my division.
That's
I
fine.
believe that bantamweights outfare well the bantamweight, but I listen to my coach, and coach says flyweight is my division. So it'll be our first time dropping down all the way to flyweight. I was booked in March to fight at flyweight, and then my opponent changed about 2 weeks out, and I was sitting about a week not knowing if I had opponents or not. So my weight picked up a little bit from there, hence it was a catch weight at 60. But I can comfortably say I'm dropping to the flyweights, and the only reason I'm there by the flyweights is for one name, and that's Terence Valelo. I'm coming for his head. I don't care about the
Ah,
gold. I don't care about the rankings. Zondi's also now come up there. I don't know why he had to put himself there and cause beef when there wasn't beef to begin with. But I'll slap his face too on the way.
so for some reason, I thought this fight was happening in the bantamweight division, but it's happening in the flyweight division, which makes it even more exciting. So thank you for that. Um, Speaking of Terrence the Black Panther Balelo, he's obviously been on an absolute tear since his loss to Gift Walker. Even before that, you could see that this guy was heading to the top, and now he is pretty much at the top, and he is going to be fighting for the flyweight strap. If you've come down for him, how do you see you beating him if that fight happens? Let's say when that fight happens, because we know how it goes in the fight game.
When's the
Graham
fight?
actually will make it happen.
So, like I've said for maybe the last year now, year and a half, none of these motherfuckers can wrestle. So I'm gonna bring that new angle to MMA again back in the cage. If you look at the previous opponents, Zondi, the last guy he fought, Becky, Dog
Becky
Danger.
Noble.
I mean, he gave him his neck. He was gifted that finish. And the his debut against Ngoma, I think his name was. Again, they're okay with the ground, but not really known for wrestling. We look at Terrence as well. All these wins that he's got, they come from predominantly strikers. So they better watch out for my wrestling. And since I'm comfortable with my wrestling, that means I can feel free to swing with the hands. So who knows? Maybe we can expect some knockouts as well.
Mm, This flyweight division is getting more and more exciting. And normally we would look at the heavier weight classes, your light heavyweight, your heavyweights, for excitement. But it's lovely to see that there's a lot of excitement in the EFC at the lower weight classes, flyweight and bantamweight, really where there's a lot of actions, a lot happening, a lot of movement. Although, now here's my question, and I hear you targeting Terrence, but right now Cape Town has three titles: one interim with Terrence. Then we've got what's his name, Luke Michael, and we have Faiz Jacobs. Luke Michael being heavy on the wrestling. Do you think you can unseat the current Cape Town dominance within the EFC?
Of course, man. Of course, I see myself being able to bang with the elites of elite there at EFC. I don't really put prize on the gold. I don't need the gold, if I'm being honest with you. It's that recognition that I'm heading for. So, like, I know that nobody can beat me, or I know that I can, at least compete with one of the best in the EFC. It's enough for me. So, with that said, like when I look at Terrence, for example, I don't rate Terrence as one of the best. He's still got a lot in his game, which he's still got to fix up, tweak there. Same with Zondi, man. Zondi's also just got a big head, and like his big head is for nothing because he's got a lot of gaps in his game that I'm going to expose come 10 October.
Well, that I guess leads me to my next question, which is your fight coming up 10th October, EFC 118. What words do you have for your opponent? What words do you have for Ntando the Zulu Warrior Zondi?
I think I've spoken enough. Again, guys, you can go check out my social media. It's all over the place. I'll fight this guy for free. I'll fight him in the bar. I'll fight him on the mats. I'll fight him in the octagon. It's just even better if there's lights, cameras, and action. So, like, just pull up, guys. I don't know what more I can say. It's been brooding for a while. And he thinks I ran away from him in March. Number one, I'm not stupid. I can't fight you on like a couple of days' notice. Like I've at least got that much respect to him to say I need some time to prepare. And it's also not the first time his name came across the table. Last month. Sorry, September, the last EFC.
Cut. So we're not live. So yeah, to whoever's editing this, we have cut. We are waiting for Godfrey to return to the screen, and I will say action when he returns. I feel like I'm on a game show. Popping in.
Okay, now I think I'll be back.
Are you back?
Apologies about that. Where did
No
you?
problem at all.
Where did I cut off from?
Um, you can go from his name has come across your desk before. So essentially, from where you started saying he said I ducked him in March. Pretty much just after that, we lost you.
Okay, so back in March, yeah, I said back in March, they did offer me Ntando.
Action.
That was again after Martin pulled out. I told him I can't take him on such a short notice. Like he's a good fighter. I've got that much respect for him to say I need at least a bit of preparation. He's got some skill. I'll give him that. And then again now in August, they offered me him in September. So now, if those of you who don't know, I've come back from surgery back in July. So I was recovering throughout that whole time. my hand over there. I don't know if you can see.
Mm. Okay.
At 61, skill. 65, and see, let's rather have it next month. Has been
How do I pause? Action. Go for
right.
it.
So I don't know where I last left off.
Oh,
March. March. I
ducking
got
you.
offered him.
March.
Yeah, March. I got offered him, and then I said, yeah, obviously short notice, can't take him. I got injured. I don't know if you remember. I was supposed to fight Nathaniel Komana in July. So the reason why I didn't take that fight is I picked up an injury myself in my hand. There's a bit of stitching there going on, but like basically
Mm.
100. So they offered me him in August, Zondi, and I said I'll fight him, but not at 57 because obviously a month to prepare and cut weight. So I couldn't take the 57 in September, which now got back to our camp as well and said October rather at 57. So the fight's been brewing for a while. So all I can say is there's tension in the air and it's going to be sorted out.
I think as a fan, the first thing I want to say is thank you for not taking the fight injured, because we sometimes see fighters take fights that they shouldn't be taking, and then we don't get the fight that we should see. I know at the last EFC we saw 2 early verbal tap outs, which were like, but bro, why did you come here to verbally tap out? And it happens. But thank you as a fan for you waiting till you
Right.
were ready enough to give us the fight that you want to give us and the fight that I guess the fans deserve. So definitely much appreciated, and thank you for that. With that said, he is still there.
If
He is not
anything, I
still
need
there.
to
He is
thank
still
you
there.
guys as fans for your patience.
Ish. Let's pause this again. So once again, yes, thank you, and good to have you back from injury. Now, you've never been on our show before, and at this point in the show, we normally
Fighter Quiz.
network is killing us today. Did you see the video?
I did see the video. The fight
He's gone.
quiz.
Oh no. Oh no, still there.
The fight quiz.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the signal is not friends for us today, but I assure you, on my side, it's okay. The fight quiz.
Okay, yes, let's try that again. To the editor, please cut from when I said thank you to now. Thank you. Let's play that again.
Kick him in the head. Fighter Quiz.
And this is my absolute favorite part of the show, is the fighter quiz. Now, I have 2 very short, very simple, very straightforward questions for you. Are you ready, Feral Spunky?
I am. Let's go.
If you could fight any celebrity, who would you want to fight?
Oh. Maybe Ben Affleck.
Ooh, tell us why.
Because I want to be Batman. I deserve to be Batman.
So I assume he's your favorite Batman.
Yeah, by far. That's a gold era.
Yeah, I think we're together on that one. For me, he just was Batman. I love Ben Affleck as Batman. So I'd like to see that fight. He's probably like a light heavyweight, middleweight, but okay, that'll still be an interesting fight.
Anybody can catch the smoke. I always say.
If you could go back in time and fight any historical figure, who would you fight? Or if you could bring back any historical figure, who would you fight?
I'll probably love a one-on-one with Hitler. I think that would be vibes. You said anybody, Hitler or maybe like Genghis Khan.
Ooh, ooh, some of the most let's say the most violent men in history with I think between them they probably have at least like 16 million deaths under their name. But okay, cool. A fight between you and Hitler would definitely be a lot of fun. Genghis Khan would definitely be a lot of fun as well. Those are very interesting options in terms of historical figures. What rules would you fight them on? Would it be straight MMA, street rules, boxing? What would you fight them on? Which rules?
It's like I always tell boxers. I love boxing sparring, and I always tell the boxers to come do some MMA sparring. So of course I'm going to have it MMA style. But will they agree? That's a different story.
That's a different story, 100%. Feral Spunky, thank you so much for coming onto the show and having this conversation with us. We really appreciate it. I'm sure all the fans now know a little bit more about you and about the mindset, your mindset coming to the fight at EFC 118. Can we get your social media handles? Where can people find you? Like you said, everything you've told us is on your socials. Where can they find you on the socials?
I'm really big on Instagram, so at Feralspunky, you guys can find me there. Not really on TikTok, not really on Twitter as well. So yeah, no, Instagram is where it's at Feralspunky. No spaces, pretty simple as well. So let's rock. Thank you
That's
for
where you
having me.
can be found.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure. And to everyone listening, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe at HeadKickPod on all platforms, Instagram, YouTube. That's where you'll find us. This interview is on YouTube. We do have the promos running on Instagram. Feral Spunky, before you go, can you please give us a shout out? Can you say this is Godfrey Mkhwanazi, Feral Spunky, EFC fighter, and you are watching or you are listening to Kick Him in the Head?
This is Godfrey
And
Mkhwanazi.
as loud as you can with the kick in the head, by the way. As loud as you can.
This is Godfrey Mkhwanazi, aka Feral Spunky, and you guys are tuned into Kick Him in the Head podcast.
Woo. That's right. Once again, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions for this fighter or any other fighters, do let us know. We are out. Until next time, salute.
10 October. See you there.